was your life like growing up in Guinea?
Well, growing up in Guinea is actually very different. Folks will be used to over here in the U.S. From culture to the way people act and the city, food, everything is just very, very different. Well, I would say people are more, welcoming. Everybody's warm. A kid won't go a day without eating. Pretty much the whole village raised the kids over there, and it's pretty much a very fun environment. I would advise anybody to go and visit and learn about the culture, the food, very beautiful sceneries, and yeah, it has a lot to offer.
Wow, it sounds like a very interesting place. I want to stay with Guinea for a moment. Can you explain to the listeners specifically where Guinea is located in the continent of Africa?
Right. Guinea is located in West Africa. Pretty much once you reach there, you will also have access to a lot of neighboring countries like Sierra Leone, Liberia, Mali. We also have some dialects and so forth.
Well, here, Africa is such a diverse continent, as you mentioned about Guinea being located in West Africa and it neighbors different countries in the continent, such a very diverse and a unique place. It's hard to believe a lot of people still don't know that. You mentioned, I was doing some more research on you, and you speak several languages. I want to know, what languages do you speak, and do you have any plans of learning more languages?
Absolutely. So I do currently speak 4 languages. Speak English, French, Mandingo, and Susu. And I am, of course, learning some Spanish as we currently speak. And I have some visions to learn Japanese and Arabic as well.
Wow, that's awesome. A true renaissance, man. I like that. You mentioned about 2 languages that you speak, Mandingo and Susu. Is that native to Guinea, or is it native to the region of West Africa?
So Susu is native to Guinea, but as you take it back to history, a lot of these countries did share the same cultures and so forth. So you can hear some variations of the same language in different countries. Like, let's say in Mali, Bamako, you can hear people speaking a different version of Mandingo than you would speak in Guinea. But if you were to have a conversation, you can understand where they come from.
You mentioned about the food of Guinea and how unique it is. With Guinea, as you stated before, being a part of West Africa, which is rooted in French culture, is the food French influenced, or is it African influenced, or is it a little bit of both?
Well, I would say the food is really African influenced, but you can definitely find eateries where you have some French cultures or even American cultures, shall we say. Since the world is well connected now, I'm pretty sure a lot of dishes made their way through there, but mostly the food from there is dominant.
While we're staying on with the food, what are the most popular dishes that come from Guinea?
Well, honestly, when you say popular, the African culture, you can be surprised, but we share a lot of these dishes. You can find one dish that's in Guinea that you can also find in, let's say, Ivory Coast and so forth. So it's really hard a specific dish, but I can say my favorite dish is the peanut butter sauce. And it's pretty much a marinated peanut butter with some tomatoes and vegetables like onions and so forth. It's really good. You would have to try it to understand where I'm really coming from, but that's where I can take that.
You said that your favorite dish is the peanut butter sauce, and you mentioned some of the ingredients. What is it? Does it have like a really peanut butter taste, or does it have like a combination
Yes.
of the peanut butter with a little of the onion and tomatoes in it?
So you can make it in varieties of ways, depending on what condiments you add into it, but it has a strong peanut butter taste on it, and you can make it spicy or mild or not spicy at all, and you can serve it over rice or some couscous or fonio or anything really grainy, so to say.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's interesting right there. And this is a sports program, and I was also going through some of your bio, and I know even though you spent a small portion of your life in New York, particularly Brooklyn. Do you root for the Brooklyn Nets or any New York sports teams, or do you root for other teams?
So honestly, being born in New York, I have to represent. I do root for the Nets and the Knicks at the same time. I know a lot of people would not agree with that, but that's where I stand as far as that. I also have some interest in other teams that may be in different sports like soccer and so forth, but that's more on the international side as far as European and yeah.
Well, let's stay with soccer for a moment, because I know you said soccer is an international sport, and so many people around the world love it. Who are some of your favorite soccer teams you enjoy rooting for?
Well, honestly, I enjoy rooting for Barcelona. It's been my favorite team for quite some time, but I understand that they have currently been going through some hard times as far as acquiring the right players, the talented players, I would say. But I used to follow Juventus at one time as well, and Bayern Munich, I would say, Manchester United, Chelsea. So pretty much, once your team gets taken out of the competition, you end up finding one team to stick with just to follow up with the entertainment that the sport has to offer.
Since the 1980s, the NBA has had a wave of African players entering the league with the likes of Manute Bol and Hakeem Olajuwon, just to name a few. And we've recently seen the NBA enjoy a new wave of international players, including African talent with the likes of Joel Embiid, who hails from a country in West Africa, the region that you're from in Guinea. Joel Embiid coming from Cameroon, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis was born and raised in Athens, Greece, but his parents are Nigerian. I wanted to ask you, how big is the NBA's presence, not just in Guinea, but in the continent of Africa?
Honestly, I would say at this point, the NBA is really is internationally recognized. A lot of young folks do follow the NBA. They're up to date. Actually try and play like some of these players. So it's like a motivation to them to see that you can just be from anywhere and have the opportunity to. A lot of actual Guinean kids come over here, do practice a lot of basketball, hoping to make it into the NBA.
While we're staying with sports for a moment, what are the most watched sports in Guinea?
The most watched sport would be soccer, and basketball would definitely come into that.
All right, now I want to turn the attention now to something that you do very well, and that's music. And before we get into your career and things of that nature, I want to know what types of music did you listen to growing up?
Well, growing up, honestly, I was forced. When I say forced, meaning in my environment with my brothers and my sisters, I had to listen to a lot of hip hop, pop. You would be surprised in that, but some reggaeton. And I was pretty much exposed to a lot because different people have different flavors, so I had to pretty much get used to it and embrace it, which actually today helped me create my own cadence.
Awesome. Now I want to know, who are your favorite artists to listen to?
Well, who I actually listen to as far as hip hop, I used to listen to Lil Wayne a lot, because growing up he was a superstar. Rick Ross was in that same environment as well. I would say T-Pain, as far as I remember, those are the ones that really stuck with me. But as Drake came in the game, that changed a lot. I'm a fan, but not a super fan of Drake. But he's an amazing artist. I would definitely listen to him. Helped me reach another height of creativity as well. Currently, I would say those are the people that I really listen to the most. And one person that I also actually followed was DJ Khaled because he used to bring a lot of talent together, and so that also exposed me to a lot of artists as well.
That's awesome. Those are definitely some heavy hitters in the music industry. And you mentioned about the artists that you've enjoyed listening to with the likes of Lil Wayne and T-Pain, Rick Ross, and even some Drake. Does your music draw inspirations from American hip-hop and R&B as well as reggae and Afrobeat, or is it just all genres of music?
I would say all genres of music, honestly. I draw inspiration from American music, from African music, from Caribbean music, or even Latin. It doesn't really stop me from exploring a lot. You can, like, every culture has something to offer, and I believe if you can put all of them together, you can definitely come out with something great.
Yeah, I definitely believe that too. You know, they say music is the universal language, man. It doesn't matter. It definitely crosses races and colors and creed, and regardless of your socioeconomic level, man. That's one thing about music, man. It's that universal language, and it definitely brings people together. And speaking of trying to keep people together, you have a song. Absolutely. And you have a song called Way Up. Can you let the listeners know as well as me, like, what is the song Way Up about, and who wrote and produced the song?
Way Up was produced by Kid Lloyd. He's one engineer I work with very closely. Well, at this point, he's family. He's based in, actually doing some great work with some famous people over there in the industry. So he produced it. He actually, and I was influencing his creative process by giving him some part of my creation as well. So we pretty much made it together, but he's the one who composed it. Because as he was composing it, I was also writing my lyrics and finding my flows and cadences for the beat. So I can say it was a team effort. And Way Up is about how when you spend all your life pretty much trying to make it or prove something, and as soon as you take that wrong and make one mistake, everybody is on you like, hey man, you're not it, you're messing up, maybe we should look at someone else. Meanwhile, they are all subject to the same conditions. Everybody make mistakes, you know. So pretty much that's what it is about. And also people who try to you knowing that that is all you got. Meaning they're trying to take your last without no remorse. And I was pretty much trying to put a message out there about things that I went through without really giving any details. So pretty much just, keeping it in a summary, I would say.
Right, I dig that. I know a lot of people just from listening to the lyrics or listening to the song is that a lot of people can relate to Way Up and just the challenges that life can bring, and you're trying to make it and make sure that, there's something for you in this world, and you definitely have your voice. And speaking of having a voice, we've seen artists such as Burna Boy enjoy crossover success in America. What steps do you feel you need to take in order to make that same thing happen for your career?
Well, I definitely need to put an impact, reach the right connections, give people what they want to hear, and at the same time, making the world a better place.
Most definitely, man. I think thank God for music, man, because music is definitely a powerful force, and it's a healer, man. And you definitely got what it takes, man. And definitely with a song like Way Up, and you continue to build your catalog, you're definitely on your way. And Forex, man, this was a lot of fun, my man. Where can people find you on social media, and if you have a website, let them know that as well.
Well, currently on social media, you can find me on Instagram. My IG will be foreign.exchange. That would be foreign.exchange.
Awesome. And before I let you go, Forex, I know that Africa, again, is just a diverse continent where the official languages are different from each one. What is the official language of Guinea?
Well, the official language, I would say, is French.
Like secondary languages that are spoken there as well, as far as you mentioned with the Mandingo and Susu?
There are more languages as far as Fula, which is Fulani, and many more dialects that I don't necessarily speak, but those are the two to grasp, Fula and Mandingo. But there are so many to decide to make one the primary language, then it's not really going to ring bell with some who don't speak that language. So it was decided that French was based on the past, the colonization, and so forth.
Fair enough. And one more time, Forex, tell everybody where they can find you on social media and let them know the website again as well.
Absolutely. On Instagram at 4REIGN, that's XTHANGE, that's foreign.exchange. And from where you can find me, and I would have my contact there if you want to reach out. So on all platforms, you can find me as Forex. And then that.
Awesome, and you heard it from him. He is Forex. He's a musician, a rapper, definitely on the move, and he's also a Renaissance man who speaks 4 languages and is looking to learn more. Forex, thank you so much, my man, for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Remember to click like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.